Welcome to the League 2.0 podcast, featuring your hosts, Charlie Little and Kyle Jackson.
Hey, it's the League 2.0 podcast. We're doing one of these. How are you doing, Kyle?
I'm good. As always, we have some technical difficulties, but
we are the kings of technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize I'm actually really bad with technology. Every day that goes by.
Oh man, I love because you pay for this podcast software, and it is an absolute we're pulling nails to get this thing on the road. But
now it won't even let me use my good mic.
Yeah.
It's a waste. But whatever, we're back.
We're back, baby. So we are 1 week in, and unfortunately, I was on a golf trip on Sunday, Monday. I missed a lot of football. But I have looked in on a lot of stuff, so I might have to lean on you to really let me know what I missed.
Watched a lot of Red Zone, so.
Did you? You saw every touchdown?
Probably, yeah.
Oh man, I was sad missing that, but it is what it is. So we're just going to take a quick look at the standings after 1 week. Does anything stand out to you, Kyle, after 1 week? Anybody who's 1-0 or 0-1 that you're surprised by that outcome?
Yeah, I'm 1-0. This has never happened before.
I'm
never 1-0.
That's true. Yeah, you usually start pretty cold.
The least surprising thing is Bird Gang, how bad his team performed. Lean on a bad team, get a bad team, I guess. No, it was really unfortunate what happened there with Marv. I don't know. He looked slow. I don't know. I was watching some of the routes. He didn't even look interested. It was kind of concerning.
Weird. Didn't all three of his wide receivers have a bad go?
Oh, yeah. Drake London and Chris Olave weren't. Shaheed had all the targets in New Orleans, and then they didn't have to throw for 3/4 of the game because Carolina is so bad.
Yeah, Carolina, they're supposed to get better, Well, I guess that team is just destined for.
They also lost their best defender this week too, or last week.
Oh, did they really? Oh,
yeah,
God.
Brown's out for a while. I think that's Derek Brown.
What a waste of a team, eh?
They're terrible.
Yeah, the first week, I feel I'm lucky I won. I didn't score a ton of points. Steve is nearly at the top of his division, which, I'm kind of regretting not taking Mahomes. That's something that's haunting me a little bit.
Yeah.
I see Gavin lost. He had a tough
That is surprising.
And Finney lost in a nail biter. Yeah, Ishitaki Spew lost. So it's hard to really say too much after 1 week, right? But
yeah,
I wonder if anyone is freaking out to start.
Oh, I think if anyone, it's Winter for sure.
Yeah, he's in a dark place right now.
It's also his he bet on his team.
Yes, he went all in. He's all in.
A weird move when it's the Cardinals. It's like me betting. If I went all in on the Giants this year, I'd be like, "What the did I do?" You know what I mean? Not the year for it. I understand the talent's there. Not for the Giants. There's talent for Arizona.
I just thought of this. The Bills slowed down Miami's offense, so maybe it was just the Bills are one of the better defenses. Maybe they'll have a much better.
Maybe, but Tua did look terrible, and then obviously the unfortunate thing happened to Tua. He threw an interception when he was just trying to throw the ball out of bounds. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, he couldn't even get it out of there.
Yeah, he looked bad.
That's too bad. That's a very exciting offense.
They're going to bring someone in for sure.
Tom Brady?
I don't think it'll be Brady. All the report. I see a bunch of Tannehill. People want Tannehill back.
Oh,
which is crazy because it's not like he was ever that good. But he didn't have a lot of weapons there, so who knows?
Yeah,
he can't be Skylar Thompson's nothing, right?
Yeah,
that's his name. Really, I don't know anything about him. There's too much talent to waste the year.
100%. Their team is supposed to be in competition for.
I would say trade for Jameis because I love me some Jameis Winston, but I kind of want him to take over in Cleveland because Deshaun Watson's the worst.
Oh, that guy's a bum, eh? Jeez.
He's so bad,
and he's so dislikable too. So it's just.
And there was new reports this week of more things that happened with him off the field. So
not
people
shocking.
are hoping he gets benched. Yeah.
So speaking of Matt Winter being in a dark place, I wonder how Dave Wallace is doing after we just saw an update. CMC is headed to the IR.
That feels so bad. Doesn't even take a snap.
Yeah, right off the hop. I don't remember there being much discussion in the offseason about him struggling with anything.
No, he didn't. he didn't really train or anything or practice at all in the training camp, but they said he was going to be ready for week 1. They didn't seem too concerned about it.
No, and now all of a sudden he's shut down. Like,
Yeah,
and I guess if he's on the IR, is it 4 weeks? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a long month.
I think they had to designate him before the game this week, so this whole week counts as 1 week.
Gotcha. That's too bad. I feel for you, Dave. Sorry, man. I bet you were really tossing it between him and Bion, and didn't quite. Maybe you regretting
it would have been a little
decision.
more amusing to me if Drew was in the CMC position, just because I know he'd be freaking out.
Yeah.
The chats would be crazy with Drew just losing it, which is a little fun.
Always fun. No, who doesn't like it when Cannell's losing his mind? Another big injury was Puka Nacua, which you are benefiting from greatly, and you had a great time watching that Rams game, I'm sure.
21 targets. That was like Puka last year in week 1, right?
Something like that. So, I'm sad about it, but he was an 8th round keeper. Like, I'm just gonna move on, turn the page.
They shouldn't draft him in the 1st or 2nd, right?
Exactly.
Which is what his ADP is. So
he's had all kinds of injury problems in the past, so I'm not shocked.
Is he supposed to come back?
It sucks.
He should be back at some point, right?
Yeah, he should be, but it's a bad start to the year, and he's very injury riddled. So I could see this just hampering his whole season, but we'll find out.
At least AJ was able to go for you this weekend. Looked great.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that guy's a beauty, and he's being used heavily. Like I know Mostert's out, but still,
he does look a little slower to me though.
Achane?
Yeah, looked great. But last year, I mean, he was just maybe because he was a fresh player, he looked so much faster.
Yeah.
Now that I'm expecting him to be fast, so I'm like, oh, he's not that fast. Like he's obviously faster than everyone else, but like,
yeah, I know what you mean. And Jordan Love is hurt,
but might play.
Yeah, so that one
what's going on there.
That one doesn't seem too serious. It's just I know they announced Malik Willis is going to play, and now all of a sudden it sounds like Jordan Love. But no, like they said that early on, but now it's sounding more likely that Jordan Love might play. So who knows?
I think it depends on how he responds to whatever treatment they're doing.
I think it's Riley that has him. I'm against him this week, so that's kind of fun. Ken Walker, he's out.
Oh yeah, he looked great.
He did look good.
I wanted him in the draft.
Who has Ken Walker? Do we know?
Remember? It wasn't Gavin, right?
No, he had him last year.
Yeah, but I know he was picked around when me and Gavin were both looking at it. I can't remember who picked him.
Well, whoever it is, please message in the comments below. Hollywood Brown, he's being placed on the IR. That's really unfortunate. I remember when he signed in KC, there's a lot of excitement about that, and it's not a hot start there.
Yeah, it looked like to be a great fit. And it's it's Dave and not Dave. It's your sister's team that has it is David. I was right. I don't know. I was throwing. It's your sister's team who has Kenneth Walker.
Yes. So that's. They have Ken Walker. Gotcha.
Ken
that's
Walker,
too bad for them.
Only this is doubtful so far, not officially out, so you can't even pick anyone up.
Oh,
that's how I feel about T. Higgins.
Yeah, man, that guy, another injury-riddled player.
Yeah.
I also noticed Keenan Allen and Rome Odunze are questionable, so that's interesting. Like that could really impact the Chicago Bears offense.
And Caleb Willis didn't look good.
No,
I know he was the first rookie to win a game in forever, but like first overall pick or whatever. But like he looked bad. He only had 80 yards. Jeez.
80 yards? Are you kidding?
It was 83 yards. Anthony Richardson had that on like one throw. 3 separate times.
Did Caleb run the ball at all, or?
I think he was okay, but I know they had a defensive touchdown. No, he had 5 rushing attempts for 15 yards. Yeah, he finished with 93 yards passing.
Oh, wow.
I remember it was very underwhelming.
Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Okay, well.
I don't think he had any turnovers or anything, so like he definitely get. At least he didn't have like Daniel Jones had -5 points or something, so at least he wasn't that.
But overall, like that Bears offense is looking pretty weak, to start the year. But they did win, so their defense is looking good.
They did win, and maybe Tennessee's defense is good. I know they're pretty good the last couple of years defensively.
Yeah,
I don't know for sure though.
Tough to know as we go over everything. 1 week in, second week's on its way here, and it's hard to really know what's going on the first couple of weeks.
Oh yeah,
but we will.
We're relying a lot on what happened last year when
exactly
it's not the same.
So now we're just going to touch on 3 matchups that caught our eye and just give a quick little rundown of each of these matchups. I say we take a peek at Eastbound and Brown. They beat Shiitake Spew 109.8 to 103.08. Anything stand out to you in this matchup?
Well, I'm sure when Riley was a little stressed after the Thursday night game when Amon Ra only had, not Thursday night game, after the Detroit game, they only had 2 catches, right? Or 3 catches.
3 catches, yeah. 13 yards. That's
you really rely on Amon Ra, right? He still pulled out the win, so it was okay. Like, other people showed up.
Their offense didn't look bad. Like, who are they relying on? I don't understand. Because it wasn't even Laporta either.
Oh, yeah, I know who they're relying on.
Oh, your boy. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I actually really wanted Jameson Williams going into this year's draft. I just kind of kept on the low because it was kind of gross.
Well, that was Mr. Little, Mr. Shiitake Spew's hot take was that he didn't keep Sam Laporta because of Jameson Williams' new role in the offense. And hey, after 1 week, he's not wrong.
I think Laporta's going to be fine long term, but
oh. 100%. But yeah, did anything else stand out to you? Like for me, like looking at the matchup, Anthony Richardson having a week like that to start the year, that's got to be comforting.
Well, you say a week like that and he only completed 9 passes.
What?
Anthony Richardson threw 9 completions. It just happened to be for 912 yards.
Oh my goodness.
He had 3 passes over 60 yards. So I understand, like, yeah, on paper.
Oh yeah, it was really the Alec Pierce show out of nowhere.
Yeah, like it was just, it is good, but still a little worrying. Like he had a rushing TD, which is what he's gonna do, and he looked good on that rushing TD. He plowed through a couple dudes, but it was a little worrisome. You saw what happened to Jordan Love this week, or not Jordan Love, Tua, when trying to go through guys. Obviously, Anthony Richardson's a much bigger person than Tua.
But
it doesn't take a lot to get hurt.
Scrambled.
Oh yeah, me and Tua's got that in common now. A little scrambly up top.
Just looking at the matchup, by the way, like Joe Mixon, I don't think anyone wanted to draft him. It's just yucky. But
no, there's not a lot of running backs who switch teams at his age and are that successful.
What a great first week! My goodness,
Bengals could have used that out of him.
Was it just Indianapolis' defense not playing well? Like, did you get to see?
He looked good, man. He looked really good. He looked better than he has in years.
That is bizarre.
I think their line's better than Cincinnati ever had.
So,
but he looked good.
Like, this is a tough loss for Shiitake, but I'd say Riley's team is looking quite formidable. Like, to have Amon Ra and Smith as 2 of your top wide receivers is a great start. Joe Mixon, if he actually plays like that all year, oh my goodness. And David Montgomery, Detroit Lions love him. Like, I'm sure you're so frustrated as a Gibbs owner. Like, he
honestly not
gets
even
the
that
rock.
much.
No,
he does get the rock, but he got most of his yardage and the touchdown was all in overtime. Gibbs saw the majority of the field for most of the game.
Okay, so
they were trading drives. They were trading drives early, and then like third, fourth quarter, it was mainly Gibbs on the field. And then overtime, they're like, it's Monty time, and he just destroyed them. He's the reason they won in overtime. Like they kept handing it to him. He just kept gaining yards easily.
Yeah. And then looking at my dad's team, like Aaron Jones and Tony Pollard both had really solid first weeks, eh?
Yeah, your dad's team was pretty good.
Trey McBride was kind of quiet. I don't know about having Ios. I don't even know how to say. I don't know how to say the Bengals running that wide receiver's name.
I don't know how. I'm not
Ios Sivas.
But he's not going to long term play. He's just there for Higgins currently. Well, who knows if Higgins is going to play? Guys,
would you be ringing the alarm bells for Davante Adams at all?
I was ringing the alarm bells for Davante Adams last year.
Yeah,
I think that's why your dad drafted him and said, "I already hate how my draft went."
Well, he actually told me, I don't know if this was shared yet, that wasn't even his pick. Like, he didn't mean to make that pick. I think he was trying to scroll on his phone. And
auto pick? Oh, no.
Yeah. And then he just kind of swallowed it and was like, whatever. Could be worse.
That's gross.
Yeah.
But it does look like, oh my God, what's the quarterback? Gardner Minshew. I can only picture his facial hair and his actual hair. I couldn't think of his name for a second, but he does sling it. Not well, but he's not afraid to throw it anywhere.
Yeah, so at least the wide receivers can get some yards.
Unless he just throws to Brock Bowers, which might happen.
Oh, man. I love that guy. That is a tight end. I am going to try to pry him off of Winter at some point. Okay, so on to another matchup. Shane beat Finney, which the reason why I wanted to touch on this one is because Finney had a really tough year last year, and then I'm sure he's hoping to start the year hot. And right off the bat, like, he doesn't have a ton to be excited about. I did get to watch the game, the Thursday night game, where it was KC beating... Right. Who did they beat? Oh my gosh, what am I blanking? Baltimore, yes, thank you. So he has Xavier Worthy. He looked great. He looked explosive. Definitely fits into their offense.
He did.
I don't know how like consistent he'll be, but he definitely has upside.
Because he wasn't on the field that much, but with Hollywood not coming back or not coming back maybe for a long time,
the door's open.
He's the guy. He's the benefactor for that.
So there were a lot of things kind of like 89 points. It's not a guaranteed win, but to lose 90.38 to 89.42 is
so close.
That hurts. That hurts a lot. And Finney definitely had a lot of underperformers. Like, you're expecting to get a bit more from Jalen Hurts. Justin Jefferson, you want more from.
Well, and going into Monday night, he had Brees. And I think Shane had no one. So Brees could have won it for him. And he got so close.
Oh, no. I didn't catch that.
He needed less than a point from Brees.
Oh, geez, Louise. That must have been painful. Oh, my gosh.
And as soon as they sat Aaron Rodgers, that's probably fuck.
So what do you think of Shane's team?
It's a little got some gross boys on there, but it's not bad. There's some I love me some CeeDee Lamb.
Josh Allen looked really good in that first week.
Really, really good. Just some. It's mainly just Najee Harris who's gross, and maybe Christian Kirk.
And if you can
too involved, and Stephon. Oh no, it's a bunch of gross boys. But hey, gross boys win. I hated Leonard Fournette for 2 years, and he was unreal for fantasy.
Yeah, you just gotta plug him in and just hope for the best.
Gross
right?
Players. James Conner. I don't even know who
Rashad White. Rashad White's your gross boy now.
So gross. His mind is the grossest. He's gonna average 1 yard a carry, but he's gonna have 12 catches a week.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if you win a week and CeeDee Lamb is only getting 11 points for you, like that's pretty cool. You know,
that's the only time it's gonna happen all
year. Yeah,
they didn't have to throw the ball as well in the second half. Like Cleveland's terrible. CD looked unstoppable the first quarter and a half. Then they just stopped because they were up big.
Yeah, they had to move on.
Him and Dak both got paid, so they're going to be having a good year.
Yeah, and I guess just because we kind of touched on what you thought of Shane's team, what do you think of Finn's team, even though they lost?
It looks solid. Kyle Pitts did something, so that's really nice. Like, that doesn't happen for anyone else who's ever owned him.
Yeah. And
hey, he could. I think he has pretty good upside this year with Kirk Cousins there, who looked not great, but he's still recovering from that injury. My biggest worry is receivers, other than Jetta's, because Worthy and Coleman, obviously Thursday night already happened here, and didn't do anything. It's weird. I don't know. I think he's going to be long term for the rest of the year. He should be really good there because he's incredibly talented, but it's tough to have to start that kind of guy to start the year, right?
Yeah. But you know what? It's just been a weird start in Buffalo. Like, Kincaid hasn't been that great. I've expected a lot more from him. Just been James Cook.
And I would say second running back is actually Jaylen Warren. That must not feel good.
He definitely needs DeAndre Hopkins to at least be consistent, like be at least like a third to second, type of wide receiver for you.
It's just tough.
Yeah, but you're right. His wide receiver depth is a little scary. But I think a lot of teams, the wide receiver depth, which you often complain about, can be a bit of a problem. So,
but it's more easy to deal with when you have running backs, like a steady running backs. But his RB2 is Jaylen Warren right now. True. Unless you pick someone up for the next week. I'm just looking at last week's results currently. But like I know he has Rico Dowdle and stuff, who I think hopefully he'll take over more carries from Zeke as the year goes, but it's not great.
No. Okay, now on to the last matchup we wanted to touch on this week was Total Immortal beating down Bryce, the Magic School Bus. Anything you see here? Anything stand out?
Tank Dell I thought would be better, but I feel like a lot of players did what we expected. Maybe Ladd McConkey was better than people were expecting for week one.
CJ
Stroud wasn't even his best, and he still won.
Yeah. No, looking at Andrew's team, especially after like we now have some of week 2 that's already happened with James Cook busting
Beast.
out. Man, Andrew's team looks pretty good.
It does, yeah.
Like, I'm pretty impressed. Rashee Rice looked amazing in that first week. I'm surprised he only ended with 13 points. Like, what is that?
No touchdown.
Yeah, true. Jalen Waddle, he looked really good. CJ Stroud, I feel like that's kind of a quiet week for him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying.
Bijan, that wasn't like a huge week. Like, oh man, Andrew, you did well, man. You did well. Bryce, your team is solid too. Obviously, you have problems now. Tua Tagovailoa going down.
But that also goes for Drew though, because who knows what happens for Jalen Waddle without Tua?
Good point. Very good point.
Again, I said I think they're going to bring someone who can sling it, but
and you know
if they
who?
Don't, that's concerning.
This is fun. I just noticed this. Bryce did leave someone on his bench that could have helped him win the week.
Would have won the week? Oh, JK. He started the wrong Chargers running back.
Oh no.
I would have done the same though going into week 1. Like, I thought Gus was the guy. Or at least he'd be more involved in the passing game. But J.K. Dobbins just looked good, except for the end of his long runs.
Did he just kind of burn out?
Oh, yeah. Well, he's had a lot of injuries. It looks like he has a quick burst, quick acceleration, that gets the speed, and then he just
fades out.
Slows down after like 20 yards. And everyone starts catching up to him.
Yeah. What do you think of Travis Kelce this year?
I don't like him personally. I had him last year going into the playoffs, and he kind of underperformed for me when I had him. He was only good for like 2 of the weeks, and then he was terrible for the playoffs. And obviously, he has some off-field distractions.
Also, did you see?
They already said they're going to manage his load this year, right?
Oh, true. Yeah, he's kind of a playoff guy now.
Yeah.
What a
Let
nice
Rashad Rice catch all the balls.
Oh boy, he looks. So
and they paid the backup tight end too, right? They paid Gray.
Oh, did they?
They gave him a
I did notice him a lot.
Like $13 million a year or something.
What do you think of Brian Thomas Jr., by the way? I'm noticing he had a decent first week.
He did. I was one of the guys who wanted him as well coming into this year.
Yeah.
Because I don't really trust anyone else in Jacksonville, especially not Gabe Davis.
Oh, yeah. He's a touchdown or bust.
Yeah, I went through that whole experiment all year last year. And Brian Thomas seems to be the guy who's going to be in there catching consistent balls every week.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence has to take a step eventually, right?
That could have been a sneaky pick. Like, I got to say, Bryce took the loss, but looking at his team, it's not bad. And
I think he took Thomas pretty early, though.
He must have, yeah.
Because I was waiting. I thought maybe a round after I was thinking about taking him.
Yeah, he kept Pacheco. I know that.
What
do you think of? What about Eckler? Can he do anything?
He didn't look like he could do anything.
No way. He's just kind of fading out now.
Bad. Well, he's not. He's in a share there too. Brian Robinson looked great last week, which is bad for Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
So I don't love him.
Well, anyways, good. That was a good first win for Andrew. That's for sure. And I think both these teams look pretty strong. I would not be pumped to play either of them this week. Okay, so now on to the waiver wire. Just there weren't like a ton of pickups, nothing crazy exciting. How do I?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot available. All the big players were already owned. The biggest might have been like.
So Tank Bigsby was the big winner, I guess. $7.
Yes, but I don't like him as a player.
He looked good in the preseason, and first week he looked good.
Last year.
He wasn't good in week 1 last year, so
but he looked good in the preseason. Different. You're right.
Yes,
you're right. You're completely right. That does make it different.
It's funny that Andrew bid the same amount. You don't see that every day. Look at everyone. No one was willing to spend much this week, which is fair. These weren't great guys. Alan Lazard to Bryce, which
look, he caught 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Only one was from Rodgers, though. One was from Tyrod, I believe.
Wow, so you really did catch everything. You've seen it all.
Well, yeah, they sat Aaron Rodgers right when it was out of reach.
Oh, okay.
Don't let him get hurt. Tyrod played, I think, the fourth quarter, which is probably why it probably hurt Finney, right?
Yeah.
Brees.
I apologize to everyone because I do feel out of touch for that first week. I just see stats. I didn't see the actual play, so I feel like I don't have a ton to add. I guess so. Alexander Mattison in Las Vegas, like, is he going to get any chance there? Or?
I think he's going to.
Oh,
Zamir White looked so bad.
Oh, okay.
Like they were the first half of the game, maybe a little less. Like it was heavily Zamir White. And every time they'd put in Alexander Mattison, it just looked way better. He caught that big touchdown, obviously. I think it was like a 30 plus something yard touchdown. It looked really good. I was watching that. And Zamir White he looks like Rachaad White running the ball, but without any receptions upside.
Ooh. So really bad. Brutal. And I noticed that you picked up
tight end.
Wan'Dale Robinson.
Oh yeah.
That's just when you heard the news, I guess, about Neighbors.
No, before that. He just had 12 targets.
What? He had 12 targets?
Yeah, Daniel Jones is going to throw it short. That's what he does. He looks gun shy to throw it. He looks like a different player than I know. He never looked great, but a couple years ago he would throw the ball.
Yeah.
And now he just doesn't.
Huh. Wonder what that's all about.
It's in his
head. I need him to throw the ball, please.
Yeah, me too, as a fan.
How did Neighbors look in week 1?
He looked really good.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Daniel Jones. That was my only concern about Malik Neighbors was Daniel Jones.
Dude,
and their backup is fucking
fine.
Drew Lock.
He doesn't need a quarterback. He's just good enough, all right? Chill.
Yeah. Daniel Jones he's thrown more touchdowns to the other team than he has to his own team in the last 2 years. It's a real stat.
Oh man, I wish he had like a smarter looking face. Like his face just looks so lost. I don't get it. He's always looking weird.
He's got that Banny look.
He does have that Banny look. Like he just never truly understands what's going on.
Yeah, but there's no other big free agent pickups because the guy everyone would have been going for is the 49ers running back who is unreal. I don't know why his name's escaping me right now.
Jordan Mason,
because most waivers he was probably available because our league's pretty deep. He wasn't.
I feel like an idiot because I really strongly thought that CMC would be hurt this year. I don't know why I didn't draft any 49ers.
Didn't you do some voodoo magic to make it happen? I feel like I remember some ceremony you were having to make him get hurt or something.
We don't talk about that. Anyways, let's move on let's just quickly touch on like the top scorers the first week. To see if anyone stood out after 1 week, maybe things that could,
player wise.
Yeah. So right now I've opened the quarterbacks, just week 1 stats. So for instance, Josh Allen was the number 1 quarterback in week 1. Baker Mayfield was the second best, which is little bit surprising. He obviously threw for 4 touchdowns. I think that's really nice.
Wasn't Baker?
What about
Baker? Oh no, Baker was the second one. You're right. Never mind.
And what about Jaden Daniels? Did you see much of that? I didn't see much of that game. Actually, I didn't see any of it.
It was all on his ground. I was all on the ground. 2 rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
Like he looked fine, but again, Terry McLaurin had like 1 catch. It didn't come to like the fourth quarter.
Okay, I see.
So he wasn't really throwing, but that rushing, he almost had 100 yards. He had 16 attempts on the ground. So
like it gives him a baseline. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So that could be a really nice pick for Perry there.
It can.
All right, on to wide receivers. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect this guy to be number 1. Jaden Reed was number 1.
The guy I did not keep.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a rushing and a receiving touchdown. He actually had a receiving touchdown called back as well.
Really?
Yeah, he had one. The first touchdown for Green Bay was Jaden Reed, but it got called back, I think, on a hold.
I saw some stat about like pre-snap, like realignments or whatever. I don't know what the term is, but Cooper Kupp was obviously number 1 by far with like 20 pre-snap. Anyways, Jaden Reed was up there. So I wonder if he's going to be in the focal point of this offense. Like, could he be the guy? Like, it feels like
he only had 6 targets, but it had 138 receiving yards.
Yeah, that's nuts. That could be a steal. That could be the steal of the draft for who got? Wait, is that Steve Bruce got him? Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah.
He's a sneaky.
So I was between keeping him and Rachaad White, right, coming into the year. So it's always keeping Gibbs, and then I went with the running back because thought
Safer.
the value, and who knows with Green Bay, there's too many receivers there, but he's clearly the guy.
Wow, that's huge. I would not have had the guts to take it. I didn't like any Green Bay receivers because it didn't feel like any stood out. But
they do manufacture touches. They manufacture touches for Reed. Like he always carries the ball at least once or twice a week, and he scored on his one carry this week.
He's the guy.
Yeah, he looks great.
And then Cooper Kupp, he was obviously huge last week. You must have loved watching those 21 targets. He is the guy. He's back. Hopefully he stays healthy. I don't want to...
God, I hope so.
Don't get too far ahead of yourselves here. But Alan Lazard was the third best wide receiver last week, and he was obviously picked up at the free agency by Bryce. That could be pretty huge.
Yeah, maybe. I just don't see it long term. But he does have rapport with Rodgers, so maybe. I know Rodgers is the reason he's there. I'm pretty sure Rodgers asked for him to bring him in last year.
Yep, as he would.
So, hey, maybe. But I think he's more going to be like a couple shots a game. Like he's not going. Once Mike Williams gets more acclimated to the offense, he's probably going to be on the field more. And Alan Lazard's like the change of pace guy. Because they signed Mike Williams to a big contract. He's just coming back from the injuries, obviously, because that's what he does still. So they're working him in slowly. He wasn't even on the field that much. He looked very kind of frustrated on the sidelines.
Really?
Oh. Yeah, like get me in the game. Let me play. I'm healthy. That's probably how he's feeling, right? Like,
oh, I see. And then obviously your boy Jameson Williams, he looked good. Mike Evans, as per usual.
Yeah, every year I'm like, oh, maybe Mike Evans isn't going to be as good this year, and then he just
I know,
does
right?
what Mike Evans does.
So stupid.
Watching a Hall of Fame career right there.
Right? Like the most quiet.
Like actually, it's already a lock. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Like doesn't have the record for most consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, or one of the most. I think Jerry Rice probably has the most, but he's up there now, though.
I haven't checked in on stats on Mike Evans because I'm never interested in him, but
every year
sure that's a thing.
Every year, man. I know he gets 1,000 yards every single year.
All right, so let's move on quickly to running backs. The number one guy last week. Do you recognize this name?
Never heard of
him. Was it weird seeing him as
Eagle? That's the guy who texted Daniel Jones before him week 1 and wished him luck. At least he's still a good guy.
He's a good guy. Did it feel weird seeing him as an Eagle?
Of course it did.
Okay. Like, have you moved on? Is it like Malik Neighbors like all day, or
a little bit? But
I guess I kind of look like a Giants fan drafting Neighbors and having Saquon Barkley.
I just wish they didn't draft him at all now, though, because like it was the end of Eli's time when they drafted him. It just was a bad place to pick a running back.
Yeah, it's like it was never.
So in hindsight, I'm like, ugh, why did
it was
they
never
do that?
gonna
Could have used so much other stuff.
It was never gonna help them. It was never gonna push them over the top.
No, because now we're exactly where we thought they'd be, like rebuilding. Yeah. They've been rebuilding for a couple of years, but like wasting Saquon. So I'm glad he gets the opportunity, but it's only going to hurt Jalen Hurts, I think, right? Because they were giving the ball to Saquon on the goal line.
It's going to hurt Hurts? Nice.
Yeah, because no more... Yeah.
Less pushes. Joe Mixon, number 2. Mm-hmm. That's nifty. Jordan Mason, number 3. That looks nice for Perry. J.K. Dobbins. Ramondre Stevenson, your guy.
Loved it. He looks.
Oh my gosh, Alvin Kamara had a good week. What the heck's going on here? Well, yeah,
they stopped throwing the ball.
I guess, like I think this always happens. A lot of the older guys do well in the first few weeks, and then the injuries catch up to them. And then I guess let's take just a quick peek at tight ends here.
Oh, such a bad week. All the tight ends sucked.
Isaiah likely didn't suck. That's
It's likely his best week.
Oh, you're on fire right now.
But he looked great. Obviously, he's talented. I think they're going to run two. They're going to run 2 tight ends almost every play, and likely lines up more as a receiver, anyways. But it looked like KC was just triple and quadruple covering Mark Andrews. Every play, there's just zones surrounding him. It's crazy.
And he didn't look healthy. He didn't look fast.
I don't think Mark Andrews looked bad, really, but just
really. Oh.
Well, there's guys everywhere. Like clearly their game plan was just eliminate Mark Andrews. We'll take our chances with Zay Flowers beating us, and then it ended up being Isaiah Likely. So it didn't really matter.
Crazy. So yeah, after 1 week, like I guess Kyle Pitts kind of stands out. Brock Bowers,
But Kyle Pitts had 3 catches, right? Like the tight end was just a really gross position. Brock Bauer stands out more than anyone else here to me because he was kind of a wild card. Like the talent's there, but rookie tight ends aren't always great. Last year was the exception, obviously, but it's just such a bad position. After week 1, I was very glad I didn't pick a tight end until the last round. Although my tight end got 1 point, but so did other people's tight ends who they picked in the top 10 rounds.
Yeah.
So
how are you feeling coming into this week? You're up against Steve.
I'm okay. I'm feeling good. Like I started Khalil Shakir on Thursday night. Unfortunately, didn't have to throw the ball much in the second half, but he looked like the number 1 option, which is kind of what I was banking on. But I would like to see T. Higgins play football. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. That's my only frustration right now. I like my team. Joe Burrow, I guess, looked pretty bad. But he seems to be a notorious slow starter. So hopefully it's just that. It's not a wrist injury still, because he looked a little weird. Do you see the clip of him going around online and he couldn't hold the water bottle on the sidelines?
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, it was all over the place this week, and then he addressed it just laughing. Like I picked up the water bottle weird, man. Guys, stop reading into everything. But he kept rubbing his wrist after. So everyone was like, uh-oh, that's the wrist he was injured.
Yeah. Is it just throwing wrist, or I should know more?
It is.
Yeah.
Or else it wouldn't be a concern, but it did look like his passes didn't have as much on it. He would have been better than Mike Gesicki caught a pass in the end zone. I think it was called back for either a flag or he was out of bounds or something, but it just
Mike.
Yeah, I picked him up and then he scored and then it didn't count, but I didn't keep him anyways. It didn't matter, but it would have been hilarious.
Yeah. That would have been a good grab. All right, well, that's a little rundown for week 1. I find it's hard to really dive into too much after 1 week.
Not enough data.
Hard to know.
It feels like overreactions.
And nothing too spicy happened. I'd say the biggest news is CMC being out. Yeah. I think that's
big time.
That's got to be the biggest one.
Which is unfortunate. We don't like when injuries.
No,
are the number one,
especially to Dave. Poor Dave. You know, that guy's grinding. He did his research.
Yeah, it feels so bad for you. At least he's in Italy. He's somewhere in Europe or something, or he's on vacation. So I
don't feel as bad then.
Yeah. He said he was going to miss. I think for the first 3 weeks he's out of country or something.
Oh wow, really?
Maybe he'll come back at the same time CMC comes back, and then just he was never hurt, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. He won't even know. All right. Well, thanks for doing the pod this week, Kyle. Hopefully we can do more in the near future. Everybody enjoy football this weekend. I'm gonna watch this weekend finally.
Are there any matchups you're excited for this week? Are you excited?
Oh, sorry.
For your matchup?
I'm a little nervous about mine. Just Riley has a pretty solid team.
Mm-hmm. You had a good start to the week, though.
Yes. Yeah.
Devon Achane.
Yeah, Achane looks great. Yeah, Andrew Cannell's off to a good start, so Finney could be seeing his second loss.
Yeah, it looks
already.
He's only projected for 77 points as of now because Coleman did nothing, and he started Jalen Wright, who had 4 rushing yards.
Only 4?
We addressed his depth at running. Oh, I didn't realize he was the one who picked up Madison. I started right, but I probably would have started right too with how the reports were Achane was banged up, right, and maybe won't get a full workload, and then obviously that wasn't the case. He looked very, very good.
Yeah, you gotta take the chance. But yeah, there aren't
I'm excited to see if Winter's team bounce. I'm just excited to see Marvin Harrison hopefully play football because I like the player.
Yes,
and I like the talent. I don't know what was happening last week. It looked terrible. And then there was already some drama about him and Kyler, right?
I heard about that.
Yeah, it's not my job to get you the ball when it quite literally is his job to get
the ball. It is, yeah.
Maybe not him specifically. Like my job's to spread pass the ball, sure, but not specifically to you.
He is so hard.
It literally is his job, which is just funny.
I find Kyler hard to like. I don't know. He just seems so careless sometimes.
Oh yeah, you had him for years too, right? So you know the whole ride.
I sure do. But yeah, let's have a fun week 2. This will be, it's early, but every week matters because there aren't a ton of weeks for the whole year. So we'll see if some of these 0-1 teams bounce back. It'll be fun. You're right.
You can be 0-4 and come back. I was 0-4, I think, to start last year, or worse even. I remember I was terrible until I traded my entire team.
And you need huge trades.
So just know if you lose a couple weeks, just trade everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
1 for pod content, and 2 because trades are fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you're good at doing that. You're not scared to do them. That's my problem. I always have trouble giving up guys. I gotta just do it. I offered a big one to Riley. He shut it down. Ooh. So
there's a reason I don't usually trade with you because I know you're kind of gun shy.
I am gun shy. Yep. But maybe
I don't want you to be insulted by an offer too. Like most of the times I send out offers just like to feel people out. Like please counter back. Yeah, I'd love to know what you're thinking. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just if I offer you a trade that looks lopsided, I'm just interested in the player on your side and tell me what it will take. Just like
that makes sense. Step. You're just getting the conversation started.
Feel under my own.
You don't want to undersell and then have a bad trade for you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. That makes complete sense. Well, it's good for everybody to hear that too. So if they get a questionable trade from you, they'll understand it's not.
Oh, no one ever takes my first trades. Don't worry. We usually have some back and forth. I like it.
You even discuss too, don't you? Don't you like?
I'll send some messages to the boys.
Oh man, and then it gets real, and all of a sudden you're trading Lamar Jackson or something.
Oh yeah.
Did you trade him once? Did you trade him once?
Yeah, I've traded Lamar. Last year I traded Waddle.
Oh man,
I've traded like every keeper I've ever had, pretty much. Eventually.
Yeah, you really aren't afraid. That's impressive.
It's also just fun. I just like it. Hey, you've seen me play video games. All I do is trade players.
That's true.
Like it's just fun.
Yeah. Oh, you're not afraid. I like that. All right. Well, thanks for doing this, Kyle. And hopefully we can get another one going next week. And
hopefully.
We'll keep the ball rolling. Everybody, good luck this week and have lots of fun.
Bye.